I hope you can see like my screen.
Yes,
So I hope you can see the screen.
yes,
So okay, so so I was continuing with the insisting of font like in visualization, like font in which I was talking about like in QGIS there is a default font which is this one MS Shell DLG2, which is this one right here. So what I'm trying to like do over here is to tell you guys like there is a lot of fonts. There's a lot of fonts you can play along with, and you can use them to make your map look visually impressive. That is what I was trying to convey, in which like I've given like an example in which there is a there is font like Barlow, this font which I normally use. There is Arial. So you can in your map when you are like drawing your map or like creating your map, you should like consider the font which you are trying to use. That's like first part of the first part of the first part of the lesson here. So yeah, this is for the unless there is any question, if there is any question, perhaps in the font part, like if there is any question before I go on to the next stage. Uh, okay.
okay,
If
Ahmed.
there is,
Someone is asking a question on how to download the font, Barlow font you're talking about.
oh, okay, so the okay. So okay, so in order to install Barlow font, there is a like websites which like they are dealing with like downloading fonts, in which one of them one of them is okay, in which one of them is Google font, this one right here, in which you will go to Google and then you can go to Google font, this one right here, and then you select this one, Google Fonts, and then there is a plethora of fonts around here. So you can go to like
Hello, I think we missed our coach already. So let's be patient. I guess his network at his own end. Please, let's be patient with him.
Hello, apologies, apologies on my side. So let me try to share again the screen. Okay, so I was here. Uh, okay, so let me try avoiding to press this one. So I was like explaining on you can go over here in Google font over here. You select the font which you want, which is Barlow, and then after selecting Barlow, you say get font over here. You press get font. After getting font, you download your font. I've already downloaded the font, this one. So in order to, after downloading it, you go to the place. I placed them in desktop, as you can see here, and then it will be in zip file. You unzip it. Then after that, you go to your font, the normal font in which you press Control A, and then you install like you install for all users. After installing for all users, then now you can now like this one. This one you won't do it right here, but you then like you can like, in order for it to work, you need to like shut down your computer and then you restart your computer. But for the this is just to showcase you like you can download any font which you want to visualize on your map and you can use it. But you can also, there is a default fonts which are available in QGIS which you can use them, which is Arial, uh, Arial and so on. Arial, like Arial or uh, Century Gothic or Calibri. This you can use them in your map. Central Gothic, you can use them in your map. You don't need to use the default one, which is MS shells. So this one is the one which you like. If you add your title over here, it will come in your computer. So that's all the font part. So the next, unless there is, I hope you understood on the font part. Hello? Hello?
Hello. Yes, we are with you. Yes, please, we are
Yeah.
with you.
So, okay, so I'll be, okay, so let me go on. So the next part which I want to like talk about is colors. I want to talk about is colors. So in colors, this is interesting one, the colors in QGIS. I'll delete this one. We'll still use the same area of interest. Our area of interest will be still the same, which will be Nigeria, because it's West Africa and it's huge country. So I want now to like in colors now. The QGIS has a plethora of colors, has a lot of colors in which I'll demonstrate. So my vector map will be this Nigerian map in which I should repeat how I got it, in which I should repeat how I got it for the people who are like joining. If I'm too fast, please 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 say or something. So how I got this vector map of Nigeria, I write here world in the coordinate over here. In the coordinates over here, I write world. If you write world, by default, it will appear a shapefile like this. So from there, I'll just select, I'll press the shapefile here and find this one button right there, which is called select feature by area. And then from there, over there now I've selected Vietnam, but that's not our point. We should select Nigeria. which is this one right here. From there now I will export, save selected feature as, because there is already Nigeria, I'll select Nigeria border. I'll write here Nigeria border. If I press right like this one and press enter, the shapefile will be in the documents by default. So this is our vector map, which we will be dealing with. Now I want to load now a raster map. A raster map. A raster map now, I'll go to this website. I'll go to this website, which is called diva.gis. I'll try to share it. This one, let me share with it. Control C. I'll share it in the chat. This one right here, so you can go along with me. So this is a website where you can download a lot of data over here. You can download a lot of data like administrative area. You can download inland water. You can download the elevation, in which we'll be downloading this one, elevation. You can download population, land cover. And the good thing about this website is that it has like a metadata, like an explanation, like where is those data coming from. For example, road data is coming from this place, railroad is coming from this place, elevation is coming from this place, and so on. So I'll like go back from here. I'll select country, in which of course I'll press N to reach quickly to Nigeria. So you will hope Netherlands, Niger, and Nigeria, this one. On subject, I'll select elevation normally, the elevation normally, and then the format, I'll select GeoTIFF. After that, then I'll scroll down here because there's a lot of over here, this place right here, I'll select this one, and then it will start downloading it. Also, I have to give a fair warning because like these elevations which I'm downloading on this data source over here, the elevation which I'm downloading from this data source, it is suitable for big countries like Tanzania, Nigeria, but for tiny countries, for example, Rwanda or Togo, they won't envision it, they won't appear like nicely as you can hope so. But I'll explain like the alternative for that. We are still in, remember that we are still in, we went from font part, we are now going to color part, the color. So after downloading it, I'll go to the desktop over here and like prepare a folder in which I'll write it Nigeria, data, in which now I'll go to downloads, and then I'll select this one, Control V, and then I'll extract here. So yeah, this one. So in QGIS now, I'll go to load now the TIFF file. I will go in layer, add raster layer, and then I'll select the Nigeria data, the TIFF file, this one, and then I'll select here open. Then I'll add and then close. So this is like a Nigeria. It has covered some part of Ghana, some part of Cameroon. So I want to like clip it to I want to clip this one to fit the Nigeria boundary. For there, I'll just go to raster, extraction. I'll go a bit slowly. I'll go to raster, extraction, clip by mask layer, and I'll select Nigeria border, and then I'll over here in output file, I'll go to save to a file, and then I'll go to over here in Nigeria data, and then I'll write Nigeria, clip, and then I'll run, and then I'll close. So as you can see now, this is the grayscale, the color palette which I'm introducing to is the grayscale, this one, of Nigeria. Nigeria, it's clipped. Now, as you can see, there is like two type of raster. There is a raster which is like this one. This is a continuous raster, in which now, this is a continuous raster in which like you can visualize it in, let me go to properties. You visualize it in like not much colors, like go to pseudo color. You visualize it in like a color ramp, like there is a lot of color ramps. There is this in your default QGIS, it won't appear as much as this one. So so what I'll do is instead I'll go now to visualize this terrain. I want to visualize this terrain. So this terrain is from black to white color, in which white color is high point and black color is dark point. So instead of that, I'll just go to create new color ramp. Over here, you select catalog CPT city, and then okay. In order to get a lot of choices of colors other than the one which are present here. So I'll repeat myself again. So I want now to change this Nigeria from grayscale, this kind of grayscale color, to like terrain colors. So let me like okay, let me continue. So I'll go again to properties. In properties, I'll select single band pseudo color. Then from there, I'll go over here, and then I'll go over here, and then I'll go to create new color ramp. From there, I'll select catalog CPT city, and then I'll press OK. This will give me a lot of colors to choose from. QGIS has a lot of colors to choose from when you want to visualize your map. So for example, in this scenario now, I will go to, I just want to showcase now the colors available in QGIS. As you can see here, there is QGIS like precipitation. So the color which I want to visualize here is digital elevation model. Let's say poster. Let's say I'll select this one right here, or this one right here, in which like the green will represent the lowland area and the white will represent the highland area. And then I'll press OK. Over here, it won't appear a lot of them. I'll go to continuous equal interval so as the colors to appear all of them. I'll press apply, and then I'll press OK. Now you can see now, like this one is, as you can see, this one is visually like represented like this one. So this is for like this like digital version model. So there is a lot of colors to choose from. you can go over here. If you don't like this color, you can go over here again. I can go over here to this triangle, and then I'll go to create new color ramp, and then now I will select catalog CPT city, and then now I'll go to another color, for example, in this scenario, topography. And then I'll select, maybe I want to, instead of that color, I will select, let's say, this one color. And then I'll apply. Okay, now it's not appearing all of the colors. I can change the classes. Instead of 5, I can go to 7 or 8 or 9 by trial and error. And then it will appear like, your map will appear like something like this one right here. So this is a digital elevation model of Nigeria. So this is for raster data. Raster data, how to visualize the colors in raster data. So for vector data now, you can, let's say for vector data now, this is for raster. Now I'm changing it to vector like this one. So for vector, I will try to, instead of like using Nigeria, I can use this Nigeria as it is, or I can like download administrative area of Nigeria. To do that, I'll go to this plugin. I'll go to plugin and then manage and install plugin. If I go to first, please say, I'll download a plugin called HCMGIS, this one right here. I'll install it and then I will press close. Now from there, I will, after installing it now, I want like to download open data for the boundary data for Nigeria instead of like selecting the country data. So I'll select the country, in which I'll select, oh, I went too fast there. I'll go to HCMJS, download open data, and then global administrative area by country. This one right here. And then from there, I will install Nigeria, in which I'll select N, and then I'll install this one right here. After that, I'll press apply, in which the estimated shapefile, it will be 3. So no worries, it will install. Okay, after installing it, it will press OK and then close. So so from there now, this one I'll drag over here, in which the one which won't have the states of Nigeria, it will be 0. And then the one which is, this one is 2. This one is the states, like Lagos state. Let me try to label them, in which I'll right click here, properties, and properties over here, I'll select 0.1, and then sorry, I went too fast. I'll go over here, properties, and then after pressing properties, I'll go to label, and then label, I'll go to single label, and then single label here in name 1, I'll just select it as it is, and then I'll select apply, and then it will appear now the state. Now because the color of the shapefile is purple, I will like try to put a little bit of buffer, in which I'll select buffer, and then I'll press 0.5. I'll apply, and then okay. So as you can see now, this one right here is for the states of Nigeria. So they are a little bit huge. So I'll go over here. I'll write 0.4, let's say. and then I'll reduce the size of the font, in which instead of 10, I'll write 8, let's say, or 5. Then I'll apply, then okay. So you can see right here. So usually for me, the boundary now, this one's right here. There is a trick you can do for the boundaries you can play around. The inland boundary, for example, this one right here, you can like the inland boundary, which you go to symbology, you can reduce its stroke width to be 0.1, and then I'll apply, and then okay. But the border boundary, which is this one, 0.1, I can just put the stroke width to be here. I'm making like the boundary, the outdoor boundary, to be temporary. And then let me try to minimize this world map. You can see right here, like the outer boundary is thick, but the inner boundary is thin. Here I'm visualizing the color of the vector color of the Nigeria. So from there, I can, like, if I don't like this purple color, you can select there is much way to select colors, in which you can go, let's say, gray. You can select a gray color, or you can go this one. You can select a gray color from using this color cycle, and then you can select apply, let's say, and okay. So it can be like this one, or for example, you were in the website, like, oh, like there is this map you really liked it, and you wanted to select the color. You can use the dropper, in which you select this one, and you can use the drop. For example, I want, let's say, this color. Using the drop, I can select this color, and then I can go. Okay, so there is a lot of ways which you can visualize your vector map, like this one. So yeah, I'll just select default, or for example, like let's say the grayscale which you have used, you can go over here, and then you select recent colors, and then this grayscale, the colors which you use, the QGIS usually keeps record of the colors which you use. You select this one, the grayscale which you have used before, and then you continue. So that is on color use for uh for this is vector data, and for raster data, unless like there is the color use for vector data and for raster data. There is a lot of because this is a beginner, this is like the color use which I've like used the is for beginner friendly. So yeah, unless there is any question before we go to the next stage, which is the layout. Hello?
Hello, thank you so much, Ahmed. Sorry, okay, it's Ahmed. Thank you. So please, if you have any question, you can drop it on the comment box. We'll be glad to answer you in the next 1 minute. In the next 1 minute, if you have any question, you can drop it there. And if after 1 minute there's no question, we'll continue with the lesson. Thank you so much, Ahmed. Any question?
Any
For me, I have a
question?
question. I have a
Okay.
question about color, because you were talking about color and you said this color being displayed is beginner friendly. So is there any, if you are creating a map, is there any specific color for any maps you are creating, or does the purpose of the map determine the color you want to add? Let me put it that way. Does the
Yeah.
purpose of the map affect the kind of color? So if so, what are the colors we use for different purposes of maps? Thank you so much.
Okay. So that's a really good question. So the uh the theme, like the map which you like prepare will the map which you'll prepare, for example, if you are talking about an elevation map like this example here, it will determine like which color should I use. So for elevation map like this one, there is a normal color palette which you like it is used. For example, like it is already written here like topography. The topography map it is used. Now, what if like let's say land cover map? Like or another example, let me quickly download the I'll quickly download this now is a bit let me quickly okay, so let me quickly download this one is a climate map for uh, I'll quickly download uh the map for, let's say I want now to download like let's say a rainfall map for Nigeria, let's say uh for let's say 2010. uh Control C, Control V. This one is for the year 2012. First ROI, I'll select this. So I'm quickly downloading like a precipitation map and a team like climate map. I'm quickly downloading them. So, but your map, for example, over here, let me go over here in in this website right here. Your map, for example, spatial node here, like the map which you will prepare will determine like which color will you use. For example, if it's a land cover map like this one right here, so you'll determine, let's say, forest will be green or barren will be brown. Or if it's a elevation map which has a lot of styles, like this one right here, the map which you prepare, it will determine which colors will you use. So over here, I've quickly downloaded for Terra Climate. This is rainfall, and I'll select this one is for the temperature for 2010. Quickly downloading them. So for rainfall, let me wait for this one to quickly complete. So let's say for this one is for even though they are written output, this one is for temperature and this one is for rainfall. So this one is for rainfall, the color which you could use instead, you could go to properties and then you can go over here to the color, and then you go over here in this one right here, create color ramps, and then you will go to catalog specificity. So for rainfall, usually we use blues, like this one blues. You can select this one blues, like the one with light blue. Okay, let me continuous equal interval. The one with a lot of blue, it will be the areas which like there is a lot of rainfall. But over here in northern Nigeria, for 2010, it is average rainfall is not much. So I could present like this one. Or another example, if it was, let's say, another theme of the map, let's say if it was maximum temperature. So I could select, I'll go over here and go band to the color, and I could select create new color ramp, catalog CPT city. I could select a range of temperature. Let's say like this one right here, it's already written here temperature. I could select this one, and then I could go to OK, and then I will go to equal interval, I'll apply, and then I could, so the bands here, they are quite few. Instead of 5, I can go, because there are a lot of colors, I can go, let's say 15, and then I could apply, and then okay. So over here in this maximum temperature, I could say the areas with red are the areas which have experienced maximum temperature for until 37, but the areas with blue are the areas which experience a low temperature, which is 25, as you can see here. So you are the type of map will determine which color would you use. So yeah, that's the answer for that question. Any other question?
Yes, I have a question.
Well, do we have someone who wants to talk?
Yes, I wanted to ask a question.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Of course, it's not specifically on this topic. I wanted to ask on importing a file. So I was asking if you're importing a file, let's say from Kobo Toolbox, and then you want to import it here to show a certain data, like a certain data. I know that you're supposed to use delimited. You put a new layer that's delimited.
Okay. Yeah.
When I was doing it, when I was going through tutorials, it was showing two on the file name when importing the file. When I import, the information is not coming out. Like it's not creating a layer. It's not giving the option of bringing a layer or adding anything. So I wanted to know usually what's the issue there, or is there some step I'm skipping? Is there something I'm supposed to do?
Okay. Good question. So, the data set for the delimited text data, uh, delimited text data, for that they're usually the point data. So because I have no already file, you would you'll go to layer, and then you'll go to add layer, and then you'll go to delimited text layer. From there now, I should I should you should select the file name. Now I don't have the comma delimited text file, but I have one which doesn't have a geometry. Or like the person who you are asking a question, could you like share like a file, let's say on the, if you can share a file, maybe you can. Hello?
Sadly, the information is on my.
Oh, okay. So okay, so let me continue like normally, like this one. So I have like this one desktop. Usually in temporary files, I have like data here. I'll just select this one as an example. This one as an example. So if it were like my data set now, this one doesn't have like X and Y value. If it has X and Y value, I could have selected the point coordinates like this one. You have to be careful on the you have to be careful on your Excel file, in which like the X file should be usually it's latitude and Y file is longitude. So this one, you select these two. From there now, the problem usually becomes like the geometry, this one, which is the coordinate system. If you went to the field and then you collected your coordinate system in UTM, you should like select the coordinate system which is in UTM zone. For example, you write here UTM, and for the place where I come from, we use ArcGIS. Oh, sorry, not ArcGIS. ArcMap. No, Arc 1960. Let me try to write UTM. Okay, so UTM, for me, for example, this one is 30, WGS84, 36,000. If you are, let's say, located in Nigeria, you can try, I think it's 30, it depends. It depends, it will be 33 or 32 or 31. I think it will depend on those kind of UTM. The coordinate system issue is usually the problem. Or another way you could, there is a plugin which is called, if you are using ODK, there is a plugin called ODK Connect. This one, ODK connector for ODK. Yeah, this one right here. You could use this one after, because I know the guys people who are using Kobo Toolbox, you can use this one right here in this file connector for ODK. You can install it and then you can install it, and then after installing it, you can there is a usually like there is a pip file. This plugin you can use it now to like import your data set. Instead of like delimited text, you can use this one. Let it continue to load. But I hope you can get what I'm trying to say, Maya.
Yes, I can understand. On that part as
Okay.
well, as you're answering, I was waiting for it to load because I think this can answer my question as well. This can help me. I was trying
Yeah.
to, when I was trying to import the file, it was also refusing me, and I do the point coordinate. Maybe I just need to click it again. I don't know, but it was refusing me to input X and Y coordinates, like the what kind of coordinates you should have on the delimited option. So I also don't know, is it that it's an issue again? Does that mean there's an issue with my
Oh.
file? Or I don't know. Or maybe if there's an email you could give me, because also I was planning on the submitting of the assignment. I didn't know where I'm submitting because I'm still not on any WhatsApp group or anything. So I was like, maybe if I can get an email of someone so that I can send the file, and then they can also maybe try it to see maybe if it's not my application.
Okay. Okay,
Yes.
let me let me share my okay, let me share my email, and then I could let's try to.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, I'll try to check on it, and then I'll try to. Oh, okay. So I have another question. So repeat how you download temperature map and mask. Okay, and please, the climate era, is it a plugin? Oh, this one is advanced. Uh, this one is a bit advanced, but what I did to install this one is a bit advanced because oh boy, this one is a bit advanced because like what I did is there is a software called ARA in which there's a software called ARA in which like in ARA there is a plugin called this one ARA Studio, and in ARA Studio is like a programming kind of language and programming kind of code in which let it continue slowly. In which but if you're interested in this one, I'll share the link in which I greatly explain. But in summary, in tiny summary, is that I created an algorithm in which like you can quickly download your climate data. So this one, TerraClimate, is the one which I use to download the data, in which like I've loaded my shapefile here, which is a Nigeria shapefile, Nigeria shapefile, Nigeria shapefile. This one, let me tick. I should have an already loaded Nigeria shapefile. And if I have already installed the Nigeria shapefile, from there now I just select this algorithm, and TerraClimate is not available. It's a bit advanced, so but from there TerraClimate I just select Tmax, maximum temperature, and then I select like the year which I want to download from 1958 to 2010, and then Control C, Control V, 2012, 31st. So the ROI is Nigeria, and then I'll run, and then it will install for here now it has installed the maximum temperature, the day maximum temperature. But you could think in that Diva.js they have like, you can go over here oh, they've removed it. It usually had like a climate data, but they have removed it. But yeah, but the climate data, I use the climate data to just like to showcase like the question of Olabisi. So yeah, okay. I'll share it at the end of the tutorial. So I'll share it, but I'll share it at the end of the tutorial. So
All right.
yeah, so
Thank you so much. Is there any other question? Have we answered all questions? And as for this that you're doing, is there a way, we are talking about AI, and machine learning is actually a subset of AI. So is there a way we can use machine learning to do all these kind of things? I'm just asking for a beginner. Thank you.
Okay, so yes, there is there is an application of AI in QGIS, but it's the way I will explain it, it's a bit advanced, but you could use AI. There is a plugin. There is a plugin here, manage and install plugin. I'll just like introduce, and then you can go on. There's a plugin called this one, Autonomous GIS Spatial Agent, this one right here. It's like ChatGPT, in which you can install it, and then you could further use it like ChatGPT. You could further use it as a ChatGPT. So this is like an autonomous. There is this way in which it has like a button over here, plug in autonomous agent over here, and yeah, so you can okay, so there is a lot of, you can go on from here. I'm just introducing autonomous GIS spatial agent like this one. There is this way, an application of AI. So another way is in Twitter there is a plugin called QGIS MCP plugin, in which in which I'll go over here and reply, and I'll scroll down. I think I'll scroll down. Hold on, this one right here. So this is like for this plugin, I'll share like the thread you can, this is like an introduction. You could use like cloud, you could use like a cloud AI. I think you are familiar with cloud AI. You could use cloud AI and you integrate it with QGIS, and then you, from cloud, you give it an instruction as illustrated here. And I also like shared like how a simple video, you can see here a simple video on how I did it. Let me try to, as you can see here, over here, you just I give like an instruction, let's say ping. If it works, then over here I'm trying to load without the use of human being. You just load your you give it as an instruction. Instruction number 2, it was saying save Tanzania as QGIS file, and then I gave it an instruction like I gave it an instruction to load the raster file, sorry, the vector file of Tanzania shapefile. It loaded it. I didn't like used it, and finally it will render a map in which it didn't render a good map as a human, but you can see here below, it is like this one right here. It rendered a plain map because it's an AI. I didn't give it much instruction, but that's like use case of an AI in QGIS. So I'll copy link and then I'll place it in chat for like introduction. Another final application of an AI which I know, there is this fellas called Bunting Lab. Bunting Lab. Yeah, this one. These guys are like they made a plugin in which they made a like a this one QAI, in which like you give it an instruction and then it will load. But this one is a like you pay. So this is like the AI applications which I know, which you can integrate them with QGIS. So
Thank you
yeah,
very
that. Any other
much.
questions?
I think that's all for question now because we spent more than 5 minutes on those questions. So we are going to the next, which is the layout. You talked about the layout. So
Okay, so I should continue. So
yeah.
in the layout part, we in the layout part we in the layout part there is a, I'll try to go over here now to just demonstrate. Like in the layout part, you can see like the layout part is the way which the way which the shape, the boundaries, how you will present your map, as you can see over here. Now for, oh, it's scrolling. Now in layout part, it's like this one. As you can see here, you could see how like how they're arranged. Okay, it's scrolling. So there is a different way of how map can be arranged. So I will introduce you to a plugin, or there is a normal way. I'll show 2 ways on how you can present your layout. For example, let's say I want to like make a location map of Lagos. So I'll go to over here in Nigeria. I'll select, or let me try to visualize, okay, this one for Lagos, I'll select this, and then I'll go over here in Lagos, and then over here in Lagos, after selecting it, I'll export, save selected feature as, I'll select Lagos, and then okay. After then, now I'm trying now to make a quick location, a quick but understandable location map of Lagos. So I'll go over here in project, print new layout, and then I'll write here Lagos. And then, so what I'm trying to, I'll try to like draw a box where like which map will appear which place. So I'll start by a box just to illustrate. I can usually the location map, there is a 3 box like this one. This one, the larger box in which you will the larger box in which you put like the area of interest, let's say Lagos, and Control C, Control V, and the tiny boxes here in which over here you will put, let's say, you select over here in this map, let's say you put, over here you put your Nigeria map, and then over here I'll put Lagos map. It could be Control C, Control V. It could be, this is like a skeleton layout on how you can arrange your location map. It can be like this one. Okay, so this can be an example 1. An example 2 of an example 1. So let me quickly illustrate quickly so as they can appear. So the Lagos map, let me zoom to there. Okay, because the Lagos map is like, it's usually I'll add a base map in which I'll scroll down here. There is a lot of base map for my part, but I'll select the OpenStreetMap base map. Okay, so like this one right here. Oh, okay. This one right here. And then over here, I could, in this map right here, I could go over here in this map, and then I could add map like this one over here in this skeleton like this. And then so that it won't move, I should lock layer so as it can stay at it is as it is. I can lock layer, and then I could select another layer in which this is Nigeria now, the whole Nigeria border, like this one right here, and then I'll select this one, enter, I'll untick this so as it can be plain, and then over here, I'll go around here, and then I'll add the map. And then and then from here now I could lock layer so as it can't move. And then finally on this larger map I could zoom in. Let's say I could zoom in to let me try to zoom in. Let's say the area of interest, the area of interest could be, I could zoom in, let's say like Lagos Island, like this one. Like the way the Lagos is arranged, I could just select like this one to appear in a larger map, like this one right here, like this one. And then now from there, I could, this is like how it could appear, the first appearance in the layout. It could, if the usual location maps, like they appear like this. I'm going to delete the boxes in which I will select this page. Okay, let me try to select this page. Item properties. Okay, let me try to item panels. Yeah, okay, this is what I was looking for. So I drew the triangles. If I minimize the maps, I drew the triangle, which the rectangles, rectangles, which they will get me to make a location map. But I could minimize them. I could delete, this was to try to help me, but I could delete them, all of them, and then I could like arrange them like this one, because I've locked the layers, so they could help me with this one. And then I could add frames in all of them, and then I could go to page properties, and then I'll select 200 and 230, 220, the custom paper, and then I'll scroll this one right here. And then I could, this is like a location map now. I could write location map of, as quickly I could write here, location map of Lagos. And then I could select this one, 12. So the font, I've put the normal one, which is BAL, as you can see here. And then I could, after then, I just select the grids, add the grids, in which I'll press this button right here to add grid, and then modify grid, and frame and annotation. In the interval, I put fit segment width, and then I draw coordinates. Usually, I draw coordinates so as it can appear clean. I go on the left, I go show all, and vertical ascending. On the right, I disable, and on the top, usually I disable. So I could do this for this one, grid, legend install, modify grid, called frame and annotation, fit segment width, and then I could select, I could go here, draw coordinates, and then in the outside frame, I'll go, instead of outside frame, I'll select like this, vertical ascending. In the right, I'll disable, and in the top, I'll disable. It will be like this one. And finally, I could finish up with Nigeria over here. I could I've selected Nigeria. I'm showing now the grid, modify grid, solid frame and annotation, feed segment width, and then I'll draw coordinates, and then I'll over here vertical ascending, in top right I'll disable, and top I'll disable. Oh, sorry. top, I'll disable. So it will appear like this. This is like the normal layout the normal layout of QGIS So you can get a lot of inspiration on how to put your layouts in this spatial node. There is a lot of maps you can get an inspiration on how you can arrange your layouts from here. This is like an example. So this is one way you can put your layout. So from there, you can continue to add your north key like this one. This north arrow is not appearing. I should drag, as you can see here. You can just put it over here. Control C, Control V, Control V. That to add this north key over here. And this north key over here. So from there now you can select your scale by selecting this one, and you put your scale over here. And then because for these tiny maps, usually on the scale part, for example, for this Nigeria, you can scroll down over here, and then until you find the place called segment, and then you select only one segment to appear over here, and then you select your north key, and then you select your segment to have only one segment over here to be like this. So yeah, this could be a simple location map of Lagos. So this is one way you can present it. So after that, usually the font you can select to be semi-bold like this one, and then you can now print your map. Lagos map, and then it will usually I put it 300 dpi, but if you want higher quality map, this dpi you select it to 600, but for the purposes of this one, I'll just put 300, and then I'll apply. It will take a little bit of time because of the base map, OpenStreetMap base map, but now it's already done. Sometimes it takes quickly, sometimes it's done. And then, yeah, our location map on the layout, the way the layout it appears, it is like this. And this is a simple location map of Lagos. It can be like this one. So this is one way you can present it. So you can say, I want like this one to appear on the right side, and these maps could appear on the right side. So it is very possible. You just remove these ones, and then you drag over here like this. These two, you move them outward over here. This one right here, you can try to move it to appear until here, and this one right here, you push them over here. So it will appear like this, as you can see. So let me try adjusting it a little bit, because because it has. So it is how you try and put your maps on the layout. It will depend on what do you want. So for example, the scale is this one, and yeah, it will be like this one. So you need to get an inspiration from this one. Let's say I want it to appear like this one. You can get an inspiration from here, or you can say I want it to appear like this one. You can get an inspiration from here. So this is one way which you can present your layout. The other way which I want to introduce to you it is from a plugin which I like it the most. It's called Layout Loader, in which to install it, you go to Layout. You go to Plugin, Manage and Install Plugin. From there, I'll write Layout Loader, this one right here. It will look like this. And then you'll install it. Over here, there'll be a place called Install Plugin. You'll press Install Plugin, and then after installing plugin, you'll close. It will appear on the plugin layout loader like this one. So at first, it won't appear with much option like this one. It won't appear with much option like this one. You will select this button called Add More. After selecting Add More, then it will come with much selection like this one. So when I want, let's say I want to, so let me prepare quickly an elevation map of Nigeria, this one right here. We prepared an elevation map of Nigeria like this one. So I want to, let me try to select it with border. Okay, does it appear like this? Okay, great. So this one right here, I'll try to, we're still in layout, so I'm just trying to prepare it to appear well. So yeah, so it appears nice like this one. There's a bit of overlap on some areas, but it appears nice. So I want to prepare an elevation map using layout loader. So I'll go to plugin quickly. I'll go to plugin, I'll go to layout loader, and then I'll select layout loader like this one. From there now, I'll write elevation map of Nigeria. And then from there, I'll select this one, standard A4 portrait map, elevation map of Nigeria, this one. I'll select this one for starting, but we'll try to see how each one appears. And then I'll press OK. It will load and something like this one. From there now, quickly, I'll go over here I'll press this one and I'll go over in scale. I'll press this one and then I'll press deactivate. And then from there now, I'll try it now to adjust the scale. Let's say 550. This is 500,000. This one is 5 million. And this one is like 8. Trying to adjust it, 7. And then it will appear quickly like this one right here. So this is how to quickly like make a map of elevation. From there in the title part, so there is this button which if you want to move your map, you press this button, it will move up and down, and this one. And then to continue doing other edits, you can select this one. Over here in title, you could, over here in title, you write elevation map, and then you refresh HTML. And then from there now, over here, this one, you'll see information right here. And then over here in this part right here, you could write details of elevation map. For example, instead of this, you could write, let's say this elevation map is from GIS. You could write your information here. For example, this elevation map showcase a vast and a vast landscape built up. Vast this elevation map showcase terrain, a vast terrain of Nigeria, which begins in Atlantic Ocean ocean, and elevation increases as you move north, as you move north to Sahara, averagely. Though this can be an example, though you can, as you can see in the western part is the western part and the central part are the highest part of Nigeria, as you can see. But overall, if you go from Atlantic Ocean, if you go up, as you go up, the elevation, like averagely increases. So you can add here a scale. There is automatically so there is an automatically elevation map here. You can select here of Nigeria. So yeah, it can be like this one. This is a one way. This is a like in portrait. In landscape now you go to plugin, layout loader, and then you select standard A4 landscape, and then you press OK. And then over here, I think the landscape one it appears nicely. You deactivate, and then you write 5 million or 6 million, this one. And then you should you can write here title, you write here Nigeria elevation map. I think for you can see for you can try Nigeria elevation map, and then as you over here the place where you write there is written Lorem Ipsum, you write your information, or you can delete and say I want to put a north key here, and then I could continue with my my explanation over here of how Nigeria appears as an elevation, and then from here now I could put my legend in which it appears like this, and yeah, I could select something like this, could delete this one right here, and then I could put here Nigeria clip. Instead of Nigeria clip, I just select over here, I'll select, I'll go elevation in meters, the scale is in meter, and then I could over here on title, I could write legend, legend. And yeah, I think this one looks tiny, so I can modify this scale by going to symbol. I could go over here because the width is tiny, I could write, let's say I could select 10, and then over here I could, instead of 4, I could write 10, just trying to see how it appears. Okay, 20, okay, 30, as you go on, 40, yeah, 50. As you can see here, the elevation now it has nicely appears like this one. So over here, the explanation which I've written over here, you could copy, and then you could go over here in elevation, you could add more information as this one, and then you could go on like this, and then you could print your map as Nigeria map, Nigeria elevation map. And then I'll select save, and then I'll save like this one, and then yeah, it will appear like this one. So how to like quickly like deal with the layout, it can be like this one. You could select match. This plugin is very good on layout. It could be match. You could select simple A4 portrait, simple A4 landscape. There is Insta, I think somewhere, I think I saw Insta. I think I saw it can be report cover. You can try to select. Yeah, I saw it. This one, right? The simple screen Instagram. If you want to share by phone or screen full HD, you could try now to try to check different. How do I want my map to appear? You could try different layouts, and then you could continue with visualizing. This is like for the layout part. So yeah, I think this is like the end for the layout part, unless there is any questions. Hello?
All right. Thank you so much for this segment. I really enjoyed it. And I hope as you are following, you are learning something. You are learning something. If you are still here, you can drop your favorite emoji on the chat box. If you are still here, yes, we attend to all questions. We just have 5 minutes extra because we went off. So that is why we're having that 5 minutes extra. Thank you so much. If you have any question, you can drop it in the chat box. Let's see what's going on. Okay, someone asked, I think, is it Meshach now? He asked that, assume we had prepared a land use map as indicated in the attached screenshot below. How can we add the itemized inserts in the main map? Like, how do you add inserts in the main map? That was the question. And then,
Okay.
don't think that's the question.
Okay, go on.
And someone wanted to ask question. If your hand is raised, I would like to see you. I think Nene. Nene, do you have any question? Hello, are you still there?
I put it in the chat.
Okay. All right. So that's the only question, tangible question I'm seeing there. So the
Okay.
other, if I can answer, I will answer in the chat box. Thank you.
Okay, so okay. Okay. I have understood it. So I think assume a pair ranker. How can we add itemized insert map as you can explain? Oh, okay. So great. So okay, so this one. So from this one right here, let's say A, B, C. So how to do it? You could okay. So I'll still use Lagos because I think it's the only area which I'm familiar with. So over here, you could I think in QGIS there is a binomial you can add there is a place called add overview. On add map there is a place called add overview. Yes, this one right, overviews. Okay, so I think this one right here I could add overview. Okay, map frame is okay. So what I did is that let me try to present it with two maps. I should demolish now the whole map now. So this one I will start by preparing like my tiny map. I'll start preparing my large map of Nigeria. This one right here. This one right here. Nigeria map like this one. Okay. So after preparing this map, and then I'll prepare this map, and then I'll enter it in the layout. This one right here. And then now I'll let me add. So this one is a large map. So I'm trying to adjust it. Let me try to adjust it like this one. Okay, so I'll put a frame. Okay, good. So over here, I'll lock this layer, and then now I'll prepare a tiny, usually a tiny map of Lagos. So I'll select Lagos, zoom to layer. It's overlapping, but no worries. You could add it over here as a second map. So second map, I'll lock layer style, and then I'll add a frame over here. This is Lagos. So let me try to add another state so as you can understand me quickly. So I'll add another state, which is quickly I'll try to add another state. I'll try to add another state. Let me minimize. Let me minimize this elevation map so as I can see the other states. I'll try, let's say, oil. I'll try to select oil, then let me see. Okay, yeah, now I can see them. So I'll select oil, then oil, then I'll export, save selected feature as oil. Then I'll press OK. Then from there now I'll zoom to this particular state of oil, and then I'll try to add it in this one map. This map right here, I'll try to add it. Okay, so I'll press this frame right here. So yeah, so I have like two maps now, like this one, same like the one in Egypt. So I'll try to unlock this one because okay, so I'll go back again and I'll take this one, I'll put it right here. Okay, so I'll try to go back over here and I'll quickly untick this one so as I can. Okay, so let me try to apply. So if I want to put now the boxes now to highlight the Ondo and the Lagos, I'll select this big map, this one, big map right here, like the one which the Egypt one, like this one. He selected this big map. From there now, I will scroll down till the place called Overview. In Overview, I'll press this button, the Overview number 1. In the Overview number 1, I will select Map Frame, which is Map 2. In Map 2, it will highlight the Lagos. So instead of Map Frame here, instead of Simple Fill, I will go till the end, and then I will try to I'm trying to draw a tiny box over here. So over here in solid, fill color, over here I'll go till the end. Okay, so no brush. Simple fill, over here I'll try to put 2.4. So what I'm trying to do is, okay, let me just continue as it is. So I think it's highlighted like this in overview. I could add this box instead. Okay, this one seems much better. So in fill color over here, I'll drop till here. It will appear like this. And then I would select the solid color to be the red one. And then it will appear like this one. But the stroke color is a bit thin. I would select 0.4, 0.6, something so as it can highlight exactly like the one over here in Nigeria. So this one is for Lagos. Now I could illustrate them both, but because they are close, I can't illustrate because I should have selected over here because they're close. But you could adjust the how it appears, but you could adjust how it appears, but this is how you can do it. If I want to select you could add another overview in which I could the overview number 2 I could go for Ondo State, but because they are close, the frame style I could add over here, and then I could minimize, and then I could scroll, and then I could continue now with the stroke color. I could put red, and then I could increase now the stroke width, which is 0.6, 0.4, same like that one. But because it's close, that's why it's like this. But that's how you can do it. If you add another map, let's say another map, you continue like this one. That's how I think the question you wanted to ask. Also, if like, for example, like here in Western Delta, you could just draw a box. You could draw a box over here, and then you put grayscale, I think, black. And then you put transparent like this one. And then after that over here, you could write to the font. You could type here Lagos. And then over here, you can't see it, but it's black like this one, and then you select, it can be white like that one right there. So that's how I think you could select semi-bold so as it can appear. So yeah, it can be like this. That's how I understood the question. I hope it suffice. It's sufficed. Any other question? I hope, Meshek, you have understood. Okay, yeah. Okay, brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, good. Any other question? Any other question? Any other question on the layout part?
All right.
Any other question?
If we have any question, I think that would be on the group or personally connect with the coach so that if you have any question, you can ask your question. He already dropped his link on the chat box. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please, you can appreciate our coach today by saying thank you. Thank you. You are here to give us our assessment. We're expecting our assessment for today. And today this is at this point we're rounding up the last part of the beginners class. I know as a beginner, you will not be scared to say you've learned something today. You will not be scared when you ask you to create map or put an insert in map or download a shapefile, you would not find it difficult. Thank you so much. So the assessment will be dropped on the link now, or I would like our coach to tell us what assessments we have. And then after the assessment is being announced, then we say goodbye to everybody. Then we assess the assessments on the link that will be dropped on the chat box again. We drop the link there where you are going to submit your assessment, so that you won't just do this in vain. I know you've committed your time, your data to learn. It is not for granted. So you'll be having a certificate for this. That is if we see your assessment and if you registered right from the beginning of this course. Thank you so much. So over to you, Idris. Our coach, over to you. So we'd want our assessment for today.
Okay, so okay, so in summary, what we did today is I was like explaining in visual. I was explaining like how you could because the past map you introduced, like how to make a map. So in over here today, I was just like explaining in details the major areas which you like, the hit areas which you should go along, hit areas which you should like concentrate when you are trying to make a map, in which I concentrated in 3 parts, which are fonts, the type of fonts which you try to use, the color choice, your color choice, color selection, and also the type of layout which you try to use when you create your map. So that's all, I think. That's all, the assessment.
All right. So we should create a map showing all the practice of things we are doing today, right? We've done.
Yeah.
So you can choose an area, any area of interest of your choice. So we've already done the overview of what we did today. So you just go on and practice what we did today. And the link to the submission of the assessment, I will drop it again on the chat box. And I'm using this opportunity to say thank you, ROOTGIS, for this opportunity. We'll be meeting in the intermediate class. Thank you everyone for joining, for coming around. We really appreciate you. I really appreciate African Women in GIS. If you want to appreciate African Women in GIS, I would like to see your appreciation on the chat box. I've been seeing some people doing that already. I want to see appreciation on the chat box. Thank you so much for coming. Thanks for joining. Thanks for staying around to this time. Do have a lovely weekend. See you in the intermediate class. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Thank you very much, and bye too.